What's going on, people? Good morning. Welcome back to United View. I hope you guys are doing well. Welcome to the Transfer View, where we break down all the latest goings-ons at Man United, all the latest rumours, all the latest transfer talk, all the latest deal extension talks, all the latest the manager is staying talks, all the latest some people are fuming about that, some people are happy about that talks, everything, all the Euro stuff, where Owen's angry at Southgate and wants England to lose and go out in the groups. All of that stuff.
Hey, come on. That's just downright treason.
Sorry.
That's never. Take it back, or I'm walking. I'm leaving.
But I tell you what, but if we do go out in the Euros, don't ever think you wouldn't get Owen going, didn't even make it out of the groups. I told you about this guy. This is what I mean about... So, you know, there's a... Owen's in a win-win. You know, he's in a win-win with Southgate. But anyway, I don't know why I'm going in on Owen with Southgate. I don't know why I've done this.
Oh, yeah, I'm the only one that thinks that, Flex. I'm very unique in that opinion. I'm Gareth Southgate, isn't it? No.
Akash says, lock Flex up for that. I'm playing, man. I'm playing. Big up to everybody logging in. Make sure you smash the like. Got 100 likes straight off the bat. Over 430 people watching straight away. Big up to you guys. Let's keep the energy high. 84% of you have said you have liked the video. 15% of you have said you are doing it now. So big up to you. Javid says, good morning, UV fam. Simon McGill says, big up everyone. Smash the like button. Let's go. Morning, Flex and Owen. Big up UV fam, says Daniel Luciano. CG says, big up Owen and Flex. And Craig Perkins says, morning, Devon. Morning, Bubba Ray. Owen, which one are you and which one am I?
Wow. I think it's nowadays I'm probably looking Bubba Ray-ish, you know what I mean? I'm looking not Bubba Ray, Blubber Ray, you know what I mean? That kind of. But who does that make KG? What does that make KG? It's
Mark Henry, isn't it? He's always been Mark Henry or Viscera. It could be Viscera.
Viscera. That is I tell you what, that is a violation. You can't say that, Flex. Viscera. Do you see him?
No, because of the eyes. Because sometimes KG's got eyes a bit. Like, that's what I meant. And like, I want to see KG with a Mohican because he's mainly bald, but I'd like to see him with. That's what I meant. I didn't mean like.
Did you see the stage where Viscera used to wear big pajamas?
Yeah, the big. I could just see KG dressing up like this. I could just like. Is that really bad? Like, I didn't mean. I'm just
a big guy. It was a big,
but I was more talking about the style.
I don't think you were.
And the boldness, like, it would be good to see him get a strip.
Anyway, that's where Mark Henry's bold. So Mark Henry's better one.
Mark Henry used to have the he had the plaits for a bit when he was in.
But he had a stage where he had them, but like it got towards the end, like half of his head.
Yeah, he
had to get rid.
Yeah. KG, the comedian, has 24 minutes to respond. Knowing KG, he's probably driving somewhere in the show, watching this now. So big him up.
Yeah.
Eric Ten Hag, 2-year extension. We're going to be talking about that. Fabrizio Romano has been across this, as has everybody else. He's sort of tweeted within the last half an hour on top of the stuff he already said yesterday, and some other people have. Dan Ashworth compensation. You know, with everything going on, the Ashworth thing and the arbitration and stuff, kind of just... We'll leave that a bit. We need to work out who the manager is going to be. We need to see what's going on. And now it's like, oh, yeah, Ashworth. Varane to Miami as well. Wow. If that happens, I will be getting a Miami shirt. You will see it. It will say Varane on the back.
Oh, and I thought of something. This is very off track already, and we're massively off track. But I spoke to, I was talking to my father yesterday, yeah? And he said to me, "No, this is exciting. This is exciting. I'm excited about this."
I don't know if it is, Owen.
No, it is exciting. He said we were talking, and he was, "Oh, I've got to be careful about who I get my who get on the back of my shirt next season." He goes, "I tell you what, put it to a vote onto the UV community, and whoever you vote for, I'll get it on my back of my shirt."
Well, because then he's saying it'll be our fault.
Yes. So he said he will abide by it. Obviously, It's got to be a player. Obviously, you know, next season. Yeah. But he said he will do it. He will do it.
That's fair. So I think the question is now, before we actually start the show properly, is do we wait for the transfer window to shut to see who we've bought and then do it? I think that's the fairest way. So then we could get someone that everybody just loves and would want to get the shirt.
Yes.
Surely a Manu shirt's got to be safe in it.
I don't think he's going to do it. He's not going to do it. He's not going to do it.
Okay. Some people say it's Sancho, Dangor. Anyway, so yes, we've got a lot to talk about. As I've just alluded to there, housekeeping. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and big up Ryan. He's the latest member of the UV Members Club. Big up Ryan's always in here as a Chelsea fan, I believe. Just having his opinion, having his say, and just seems to really enjoy the content so much. So as a Chelsea fan, he's joined the community. And Ryan says, Dangor shirt or nothing. I'm just checking, Ryan. You are a Chelsea fan, innit? I'm pretty sure you are, because I've heard you say other stuff before. But just shows that, like, everyone's welcome here. Like, don't get me wrong. If Liverpool people want to come here, like, to troll and like get out, and Man City and like get out. But like, if you do come here to just like genuinely just be part of it and have a look at what's going on, then
bit of football chit chat.
Yeah, a bit of football chit chat. Everyone's welcome. Kenny Fan TV says, I hope KG doesn't bet for next season. I hope for his own sake. I hope for his family's sake. I hope for his life's sake that he doesn't get himself into sticky situations, taking out loans and that to pay back, I'm joking, by the way. He's not in that situation at all. Right, Owen, just in case people go,
just doing laundry.
Flex said, I'll tell you, Flex said you've got financial problems because you can't afford to pay the bets back. He said that you got loans. Like, you were right,
you played a lot of match bingo, man. You got to be careful.
Guys, I'm joking. Jeez, you do have to do that on the internet. You have to be like,
you do.
I was only joking about that. Owen, what we've got? Eric Ten Hag.
Ten Hag, yes. A lot of news about Eric Ten Hag and a new contract for the Manchester United manager. So it first came from Jason Butt from the Telegraph yesterday, saying Eric Ten Hag is likely to be offered a 2-year contract extension at Manchester United. But the interesting thing is going to be, Flex, is the final details of this contract, because according to Tyrone Marshall from the Manchester Evening News, Eric Ten Hag is reluctant to cede too much power over transfers at Manchester United as he prepares for contract talks with the club. But there is a genuine desire on both sides to find some middle ground in terms of his role. This is kind of echoed by the Times from Charlotte Dunker and Paul Hurst, saying that Eric Ten Hag will not blindly accept any Manchester United contract that is put in front of him. He wants to feel empowered and not a lame duck manager. So he wants signings to be made and through the door before pre-season that improve the squad. Eric Ten Hag is reluctant to cede transfer power, same line as the Manchester Evening News. They want to give the recruitment team more power over signings, but Ten Hag's present contract states that he has a veto over potential purchases, maybe an indication as another reason why they want to get this new contract, new writing, and all that kind of stuff. But as far as the timeline for all of this, and if you have any concerns that the contract could fall apart over these discussions about transfers and what have you, Fabrizio Romano tweeted about 45 minutes ago saying Eric Ten Hag's contract extension at Manchester United is considered a matter of time. Negotiations are progressing very well, with both sides believing a new deal will be agreed upon soon. It could be valid for 2 more years, with details still under discussion. So it doesn't look like after all of this, that talk about transfers and this, that, and the other, it's going to fall apart. It does look like the language maybe involved in his contract is going to change. It does look like maybe his role, who knows, his title might actually change too in terms of manager to head coach. But now it's just a case of finding that middle ground that they're saying, where it's like, well, look, these guys have come in, Dan Ashworth, not yet, but Omar Barada, Jason Wilcox, this recruitment team. We want to give them more power. We want them to kind of take point on all of this transfer stuff and take that away from you. And Eric Ten Hag's like, that's cool, but I still want to have some kind of a say. I still want to be partially involved at the very least. And I'm not just going to blindly accept a new contract that's put in front of me. So I guess it's about finding the middle ground. But is this the next announcement we're waiting for now, Flex? You know, like we were waiting for the Ornstein report to say he's staying or leaving. Now we're waiting for the club announcement about the new contract.
That's exactly what it is. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Rightly so. I think rightly so. I've been sort of going through that. I've done it on Flex's View yesterday, and obviously his morning show yesterday when I was sort of speaking about how I feel. And I still think it's a good move. Look, I've been on the radio yesterday. What is really interesting, I'm going to skew a little bit, but it is about this, is the rhetoric around this, is the perception around how he's getting a new deal from outside of Man United and some Man United fans, actually. Anyone who's against Ten Hag. So what I do remember, and I'm starting to remember again, is obviously everybody hates us, right? And everybody wants us to fail. And everybody can't wait for us to fail. So when you see the rivals saying, they've given this crown and a new contract and this, that, and ever. But even in the media, because I was on TalkSport yesterday, I was calling them out for it. The pushback is like, oh, they've given him. Why wouldn't they just wait so that they could sack him if it's shit? And everybody turns you down. Ineos tried to get like 6 guys and they all said no. So they've just ended up with Eric and given him a new contract. It's weak leadership. Like none of the narrative is like Ineos spoke to these guys when it's actually not what we want. Ineos spoke to Eric and said, actually, like, with a new vision and we can do this, and actually we're going to back you. Like, the negative connotation is always that, like, Tuchel said no, Pochettino said no, De Zerbi didn't want you, Thomas Frank, you probably thought no, Gareth Southgate just could do Euros, and then you just ended up at Ten Hag. Like, that's not true. And like, the Athletic, which I want to talk about a little bit later, have a really, really good piece, which Laurie Whitwell sort of kept me in the loop over. Said he was writing this piece. Said, I'm writing a bigger piece. He just wanted to run something by me, which was really nice of him to do that, actually. But this piece that's now come out, which I've read, is brilliant. It is so good.
It's the timeline.
It's the timeline.
The timeline.
And there are some bits that, again, if you're Ten Hag out, you can pick and go, see, that means this. But if you just read it, even if you forget Ten Hag in or Ten Hag out, you read it and you go, this makes sense. In my head, it might not have come across well, but it helped me to really understand the timeline of events, how certain things happened, mistakes along the way, some mistakes along the way, and then sort of a refinement of them mistakes to say, actually, to come to a calm decision away from the fans, away from the noise. So I've kind of skewed a little bit here because it is about the contract, but I just wanted to say that the connotations around it, some people keep trying to say it's just all negative because everyone turns you down and you ended up with Eric. That's just not.
And I think you're right. You're right by mentioning that, because like you said, I think that is the way of looking at it. If you don't really know the details or you don't really know the story involved, and this is the problem with the media too, is let's make them. They can't win either way. The reason I say can't win either way is because if he wasn't offered a new contract, let's say if he wasn't offered a new contract, then we'd be looking at a situation where it's like, they'd be like, oh, well, you haven't given a new contract. You've spoken to all these people. Now you're lame duck manager. What's going on there? You know what I mean? So they can't win. They can't win either way. So, yeah, I think, like I said, I think it's the right decision.
Yeah, I do. And the fact that it's only a matter of time, I think, we wouldn't come out of those negotiations with him. Eric Ten Hag didn't agree to stay as Man United manager. They let him. I know that, but he also, didn't push back to say, I'm not staying if you don't give me X, Y, Z. He clearly wasn't like, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. But, to expect this next bit to be confirmed, I don't think is beyond the realms of possibility. And I think it's the right thing. And it should, and you know what? It should happen quick. It should happen fairly quickly after this announcement, not officially, that Eric Ten Hag's staying. Then we get the super chats out before we get too far behind. One thing I want to make sure is that we don't have the big gaps where, the super chats were a little while ago. Brains247 says, shirt name needs to be a reserve player. No risk. You say that, and then poor old Dangor does his shoulder, and then his loan gets cut short and has to come back, maybe. It's Owen's dad we're talking about here. But I hear you. Avi says, a random one, but I'm on the road to 1 year with United View, and I'm all here for it. Give me my 12 million badge, 12-month badge. Sorry, 12 million, 12-month badge. Oh, big up to you, Avi. You're nearly there, mate. Nearly there. Thanks for the love and support. Really appreciate that. And Nem Green says, well, go on, boys. Joe Black's a liar. He's my number 2. I was Eric Ten Hag in all the way. You got the receipts, LOL. Got a good feeling about this window and season. Centre back, centre mid, striker needed. Nem Green calling out Joe Blackman. Joe Blackman, rise. Where are you? Answer these charges, Joe Blackman. Where are you? Get in the chat. Defend yourself. Nem Green has called you out and said, you are the liar. You lied. It's not you. I was the chief. Yeah, I was the founder. I was the CEO of the Ten Hag Defense League. So he's saying you're side man. You're number 2. So Joe Blackman, come and defend yourself, mate. You got a lot of to answer to right there. Right, where are we at? So the 2-year contract. Are we comfortable with that? We covered everything there. No? Yeah? You've got technicals? No, I'll keep talking. Right, Owen, something's happened. I don't know. He's gone. He's gone. Owenology. Yes, yes. I'm bad mind. I don't care. I'm celebrating. He's gone. He always laughs at me, saying it's always my fault because Owen's so perfect. He's got the most amazing laptop. He's got the most amazing computer with all the RAM, all the gigahertz, all the CPUs and CPMs. He's got it all. The AI. Where is he now? Me solo stream. Am I even on? Am I even here? Wait, am I even? Yeah, I am here. I'm here by myself in my own box without him. Where's his Owenology now? Listen to me, crisp, crisp. Hear that in my voice? Treble, bass, mid range. Where's Owens? Not here. His thing not working. What's his energy gonna be like now? What's his energy gonna? What's your energy like now? Huh? Are you even back yet? You know, he's in the back. Do you know what? I, I I love it that this has happened to him. And you know what?
I
He's got to
don't.
go on that
I don't.
stream, and
No,
he's
do
got
you
to
know?
go. He's got to
Do you
get
know why I'm
something.
not happy? Do you know why I'm not happy? Because you know
What's
what my
happened?
response is. You know what my response is going to be? Fucking, I like Apple shit. Yeah, fucking AirPods is what it is. Yeah, because you know what the problem is? Is someone's walked into the house. Yeah, and their AirPods have connected to this machine. So when you were talking, suddenly I can't hear, and I'm clicking around, going, this kind of stuff's going on, this bullshit, yeah. And then I'm clicking around, and then I fixed it, and then I'm out of sync, and then it's. I hate them. I hate these. These things will screw you up. And you were the same the
Guys,
other day, Flex. You got a phone call during the stream, and then suddenly everything starts messing around or whatever. They are the worst. They are the worst. They are a disgrace.
if there are people watching from Apple who,
I
you
don't
know,
care. I don't want your
I
money.
just want to reinforce what Owen does not. I do. I just want to reinforce that I'm currently operating with an Apple MacBook Pro. You know, I do have AirPods that I use at the gym. They're very convenient at different times, and it's about just making sure your Bluetooth is switched off at the correct time so that your multifunctional Bluetooth connection system doesn't sort of interrupt what we do. But fantastic brand, fantastic technology, always ahead of the curve. And yeah, if you ever want to sort of do anything, I'll make sure Owen's not on streams and I'll do them solo, no problem.
Good, good.
Yeah. But you're back in the room
Good.
now, yeah? You good?
I'm back
Yeah?
in the room now.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Rant over. I was thinking he's gone a bit quiet when I'm saying all this.
It's because I was clicking around. And...
Don't blame Apple.
Yeah. You know what it is? It's just the death thing. Like you're sitting there, I'm enjoying myself, and I just see top right hand corner pop up, AirPods connected, and I went.
Yeah, that's the funny because it does tell you what's actually happened.
AirPods
Like,
connected. And I know someone's walking around the house hearing this. You know what I mean? Instead of me hearing this, who's on the show.
Even they're going.
Yeah.
Just listen to Barry Manilow in a minute.
Go. What's going on here?
Who's this geezer? Who's this geezer laughing at Owen as well? Right,
Disgrace.
let's go.
But I forgot what we were talking about. Oh yeah, 2-year contract. Yes, my point was before I was rudely interrupted by technology, was that they can't win either way, the Man United or Ten Hag, because if he wasn't offered a new contract, then the narrative would be, of course, I can't believe you've spoken to all these people and then you haven't given a new contract. He's been thrown under the bus. The players, how can the players, think this guy's got any authority when they were talking to other people? Like. It's the outcome Ineos had to do. If they were to keep Erik ten Hag, they have to give him a new contract because they have to show that they've backed the person that's in charge. That's what they had to do. And then this idea of, like you said, I mean, I've seen some really salty. I mean, I think there was one from the Times. I think it was Tony Cascarino, old Chelsea player, going at like, oh, this is a massive mistake or whatever. I'm like, who asked you? Who cares what you think?
It's his opinion.
I know, but
you can't say that.
I can. Of course I can.
No, but it's his opinion.
If Tony Cascarino is saying to me about, Man United made a massive mistake, I'll go, cheers, Tony, for your opinion, but I don't care.
No, but what's funny is you've gone, who asked you? Well, he's on TalkSport or whatever, and they've asked
in the Times.
That's his job. In the Times. Well, it's his job to give the opinion. So
right.
The Times have asked him to share his opinion. That's who's asked him.
Yeah. But why? But then you get quite sort of cynical of it, don't you? You go, okay, so what's your motive? Are you saying this because you care that much, or you about Manchester United or whatever?
Yeah, that's true.
No, of course it's not. And that's why I say about I saw some of this rhetoric after the report was put out there about that he was going to stay. Oh, the ops are really happy. Who cares? Who cares what the ops
Yeah.
think? Whatever. The
Yeah.
ops don't care what we think about their team. You know, I'll
Yeah.
cuss out Chelsea. I don't think Matisse really cares that much. You know,
No.
he'd be like, oh, who cares? You know,
You just defend it against people who do that. And
yeah,
I'll be honest,
exactly.
I feel like it's one of those where I've definitely got back into that bag. You know, that like us against them. I feel like, you know me, guys, I'm always self-reflective. I feel like I've lost a bit of that. I feel like I've lost a bit of that, or forgot a little bit of that. And quite recently I've been sort of punching back at some people that, because I'm like, KG said it the other day. He goes, remember, everybody hates us. Like, we need to be bastards to everyone. Like, nobody
Yeah.
likes us. And because we've been so poor for ages, you kind of forget the puff out your chest with Man United thing a bit, because we've been rubbish. But I mean, in terms of like trying to tell us like any form of little win we try and have, or a little bit of happiness, even in a terrible time, they're so quick to remind you, manager's a fraud. Oh, he's wasted all the signings. Oh, who are you? You're rubbish. Oh, Man United. Hang on a minute. F off. We've always been hated, actually.
Even
Like,
when we win
it's
stuff,
true.
like
It's
Flex, like
true.
last season,
Yeah, it's
Carabao
true.
Cup doesn't matter. Suddenly now, the FA Cup's not that important. Well, it was
Yeah.
last season when the other people, when Man City won it, or it was when Arsenal won it, you know, in Arteta's first season, or it was when Klopp won it for the first time. It's important. And that Carabao Cup, as I mentioned, last season doesn't matter. Liverpool won it this season, really matters. Really important trophy, that one. You know what I mean? So that's just what they're back to doing what they usually do. I saw a clip from Sky, and they were talking. I don't know if you saw, they were talking to fans outside Old Trafford, and it was mixed, because some of it is quite mixed.
Oh, I
Some people
saw that.
but the
Yeah.
one
The Scottish guy was
negative
like,
one.
he's a clown.
Yeah,
He's an idiot,
and
or whatever.
he's the only guy really that's like repeated like 4 times through the clip. And I thought, well, you're going around to everyone else, you know, but this is the guy that's getting a lot of the airtime. And that is when you sort of do look at it and go, well, that's a bit weird, isn't it? Like, I'm all for everyone gets their opinion, but then this guy can speak over and over and over and over again, because again,
Yeah.
that's the story that they want to tell. And it's just like, there is something, like you said, there is something to be said about that, of going, right, the decision's been made. He's going to get a new contract, move on. Now, whether almost you like it or not, you got to fight your corner a little bit, haven't you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got to fight your corner and be like, it's like that thing of going, I can cuss this team out. I can cuss this manager out. I can cuss this club out, but not you. Okay.
Yeah.
Don't you start this. Because
Well,
if I'm not going to stick up for the club, who is going to do it then? If the supporter's not going to do it,
that's
then
what I'm saying. And it is very much like it, like you say, when you come here in our platform, it's our safe space to sort of cuss out little bits that we don't like. And Ten Hag's been stubborn and this, that, and the other. But when you step outside of that and you've got fans from other things who just want you to fail, they're not telling you that Ten Hag's not good for you, because I really want Man United to get back to where they belong. So I'm telling you now, he's not. It's like just trying to be the negative. Like me and big up my guy, Ollie Klink, good friend of mine on TalkSport, had a bit of a back and forth with eSports Newcastle. And then, you know, he was like saying, he was listing off all the negative stuff. He was like, yeah, but do you really think that, you know, look at this, you know, there's no style of play, you know, that, you know, 8 for this style. And I goes, hang on a minute, Ollie. I said, that's true. But like, never once have I heard you or anyone else in this station. I was fully like, even though I'm there working at TalkSport, I still say it as it is. Or in the media, no one talks about the good things. No, hardly anyone talks about. I was like, Kobe, Garnacho, and Rasmus, they're positives. I was like, we've won 2 trophies in 2 years. That's a positive. Like, so you say all his signings have been crap. Like Martinez has been good, hasn't been there all year. Like no one says any of the good stuff. Like, and I said, yeah, he's got things to learn. Like Ten Hag was rubbish this season. It took him way too long to like start adjusting. And as soon as he did adjust, lo and behold, we got a couple of results. Maybe he can learn from that. People can learn. And then he was saying something like, oh yeah, he made a jibe. He was like, yeah, you know, Newcastle, you know, forever in our shadow. I said, oh yeah, lovely shadow. I said, lovely shadow. I said, shadow, Carabao Cup final last year, your first trophy within 100 years or what? Not 100 years, but a long time, beat you. This year, you're in no Europe. Why? Because we decided to somehow make sure it didn't happen. So when on Thursday nights, when you're doing nothing, we're playing in Europe. Like, what some shadow that is against Newcastle.
I can confirm, Flex.
Yes, I see.
He's not happy. Viscera, wow.
Yeah.
I told you. I look, KG. You're watching it now. I thought it was too far,
bro. He called me what too far? What did he call me about that turtle that time? What did he said something crazy? He called me something. Remember?
KG saying something crazy. You want me to try and define?
Exactly. But what was it? You lot in the chat will know what it is. What what did he say? He called me like an aging turtle. I think he did, or something like that.
Oh yeah, an
Yeah, he
aging
did.
gerbil, an aging
Sure.
gerbil.
There you go. That's crazy. That's
Yeah,
insane.
yeah.
So, I called him someone famous who's made a lot of money at RIP, but like has, very
Well,
famous person. Achieved a
when
lot.
when I first started appearing here on the channel for, I'm going to say a couple of months, KG just referred to me as his white friend for a while.
Did he?
Yeah,
Did he actually?
yeah.
When did he say? I missed that. When did he say that?
Like he used to, when he used to do the match views solo, he'd call me before the game and at half time, and he'd just go, "Oh, my white friend," for a long time.
Well, I think it's because maybe he said he doesn't actually have a lot. So he's like, you're special. Like,
That's what he said. That's what he said.
yeah. He has to make that clear because he's like, I don't normally have like a white friend. So like, this is one. This is my guy. Big up KG. Chat's going off. Everyone's laughing. Flex is that iced coffee again, says Shahil. Yes, it is. I used to troll these and say, why on earth would anyone drink that? It tastes like you've made a normal coffee, left it too long. Like you make a cup of tea or coffee and you leave it too long, you try to go back to it to drink it and it's cold and you go, oh, that's disgusting. You throw it away. It tastes like that. I'm not drinking that shit. And then, they had quite a lot in this household. And I thought, oh, go on then. Let me just try.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Big straw.
This is not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad, mate. So yeah, I take it back. I don't get the ones out yet. I'm not up to the level of going like Cafe Nero, Starbucks, Costa, and all of that, and getting the special. I just like this plain normal thing.
I get a bit intimidated if I go into those coffee places because I'm not that much of an expert. You know what I mean? So I don't really know
exactly
what to
my
order.
coffee, mate. For ages was if I wanted a coffee, I'd just get the Nescafe fucking thing where you put the instant, just put the granules in, put water, stir it, put a bit of water, milk, and that's it. I'd make it just like tea.
I was at work once and someone in front of me ordered something and I knew it was fancy and I didn't know, so I just repeated what they said.
Yeah, just try to jump on. Try to jump on. Yeah, I love one of them as well.
They went Black Americano. I went, yeah, Black Americano, please. I want one of those. Did you have that often? All the time, mate. All the time.
Anyway, let's get back to United view. Let's get back to football. Welcome, voice Joe. Okay, so Ryan says that Flecknology on top. Yes, I won that little battle as Owen went off. Joe Blackman has come to the forefront. He comes with a big super chat as well, in capitals as well. He says it's funny how since Ten Hag Defence League has been successful, everyone wants to take claim to it. Hashtag Minna and whoever called my name. Where were you when we needed you though? Not there. Ten Hag Defence League. He's saying funny now. Everyone wants to try and call names and that. When I was going through it, putting my hat on the line, putting my head on the line, laying it all out there, you lot was nowhere to be seen. So
it's a lot of caps, a lot of cap locks,
a lot of caps, a lot
of emojis.
Yeah. Brain says, in fact, why not add Owen or Flex on the shirt? Because I don't want that type of judge around.
No, you don't. You don't.
I'm good.
I wouldn't want to do it.
It's your dad, so maybe it might not work that way with you, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyone outside your family who your dad gets on the shirt has been rinsed. So I'm good, thanks.
No, we don't need that.
Yeah. Courtstar says Joe Blackman versus Nem Green, Lord of the Mics. Sound of the. Yeah, that'd be sick. Right, let's move it on. Ashworth compensation.
Yes, Dan Ashworth, a little bit of update on him. To be honest, I say an update. It's not too much in the terms of new news here. But Mike McGrath is saying that Newcastle still want £15 million, Fleck, plus add-ons for Dan Ashworth. Manchester United, their offer stays as it is. Really, Manchester United are sticking to their valuation of around £3 million for Dan Ashworth and are refusing to be held to ransom over Newcastle's compensation demands.
Such a big gap.
I know, it's a lot. It's a lot. Imagine when you're at the market and you go, how much do you want? 50 million. What about 3? Well, no. No, not really. But I mean, when it comes to that, the arbitration thing, I think that was set for this month, wasn't it? I think so. We can't be too far away from that. As far as the outcome, I was thinking about this before we went live. As far as the outcome, because the outcomes are meant to be confidential and private, but they're kind of is going to be and it isn't going to be. I suppose the finer details we probably won't know, but we're going to find out either way what happens, because he's either going to be starting at Manchester United or he's not for a while. You know what I mean? So we'll find out either way. But I mean, he's not going to be involved in this summer transfer window, is he? Like, that's not going to happen.
No,
At this stage.
no, he's not.
I still feel like it might be a case of the earliest he starts is they go, right, once the window shuts, then he can start getting involved, or
maybe
maybe they go at the end of the year. I mean, it's June at this point, 6 months left. They might just go, okay,
January. That's a long. Wouldn't that be like a whole year of gardening leave by the time that happens?
But
if that.
This is what's funny though, Flex, because you mentioned that Athletic article yesterday, and again, if you haven't read it, really recommend reading it.
So good.
Because they were saying that in these meetings in Monaco, where Jim Ratcliffe lives, and they were having these meetings about, at one point, the decision made to replace Erik ten Hag. The little line in there says, "Oh, Omar Barada and Dan Ashworth were kept in the loop." They say.
Loop, yeah.
So they're clearly, at the very least, involved in discussions or talks. And if those like leaked emails were true, maybe way more involved than maybe they're meant to be. But at the same time, it's not as if he is sitting there completely twiddling his thumbs doing nothing, and I have no idea what's going on at Manchester United whatsoever. So it's just a case of, I guess, how officially involved he is going to be in. But I did see something that was interesting too, saying that, Ineos really, that the whole stuff about recruitment, they want to give it to him. That's going to be Dan Ashworth's thing. You do recruitment, Dan. That's what you're going to be focused on. And I suppose, and that does lead us into, with the transfers, this is the transfer view, then who is going to be doing that this summer? If he's not there officially, like, is it going to be not as smooth sailing as maybe we would hope? Like, is it going to have ramifications on the window, do you think?
I think it's definitely sorting out who the manager is now, going into it and giving him a new deal calms down a lot of stuff. We know that. Like, don't get me wrong, the people that we need to make the right decisions here and there aren't fully there yet. But there's enough of the new regime in place to put a stop to, well, the old people who actually do make those shit decisions before aren't here. So that's a plus. Because, you're not going to have a John Murto there who's a facilitator for going, let's spend 80 million on Anthony type vibe again. Or, let's sign off on someone like Casemiro for 5 years on those types of wages. That definitely is not going to happen again, 100% in this window, because we've already seen them start to undo that. And, with the likes of Martial being let go, which was not a hard decision to make, but you know what I mean? Varane, things like that, you can see what is starting to happen. It's begun already. So I don't have the fact that Ashworth is not in properly and Barada's not in properly. And well, actually, Barada will be here for the window because he gets here when? July the when?
12th, July, something like that.
Yeah. So he'll be here. So that coupled with the fact that we now know who the manager is all before the window starts, I'm still hopeful. They should still be able to, and Jason Wilcox is here as well. And if you read that article, there's suggestions about his input into some of the advice he gave Erik ten Hag, tactical stuff, which again, you could either choose to go, oh, that's bollocks. There's no way Jason Wilcox said, I tell you what, go 4-4-2, you're sacked. And Erik got scared and said, all right, I'll do it. We don't know which way round it is, but I'm telling you now, this piece that's been written, they are very, very well connected to people who are writing this article. And I know this article took a long time to put together with a lot of
interesting, Flex? And I have some people just in general, because obviously there's been a lot written the last 24 hours. It is very curious that we've gone from, in the space of 2 days, nobody knowing anything to everybody knowing everything.
Correct.
and you go, well, that's quite curious, isn't it? And again, is that Manchester United and Ineos going, right, now that we're done, here's the information, go print it. Is that the journalist being like, oh, well, I'm going to have to put something out there again. So I'm going to have to kind of put some pieces together. Like, I don't know. I think that is very curious, that the fact that we don't know anything to a couple of days later, we know everything that happens.
Yeah.
Everything that happens.
No,
that's very interesting.
Interesting to say the least, because, and that's what I mean about getting a bit of context into, like, where I'm always trying to, what I don't like doing is just, as you guys know, is like, is thinking something and then like I just go like I was right, or oh, I was 1,000,000% wrong. Like I like to just continually look at like why I think something and the evidence that maybe supports it. And as things like keep moving, I'm just that sort of person. Some people say that makes you end up being a flip-flop flex, or you quite move the. It's just how I am as a person. I always like to just keep reflecting on things to see what's apparent to me versus what has become non-apparent now. And as I'm just taking in information as this story's going on, I'm reading things like this. I do feel like that's why I said even before this piece came out, I was a bit like, actually, Ineos have probably we got wound up and it probably took a bit too long. And there were some bits along the line that probably shouldn't have happened. But overall, when you're new to a big establishment like Man United and you buy that chunk of it and you want to change so much of it, there is a period whereby the person in a hot seat, yeah, you're not involved in these situations, in these discussions, you know. And there's a line in this that says almost like somebody marking their own homework. It's true. Like I'm here. There's a professional sort of bit where it's like, right, no, you're not involved in this part. We're the decision makers. It's not ethical for you to be involved in the selection process of who the manager is just because you've got them proposed at the moment. It's for us to go off. It might look like it's behind his back and all of this, but if you understand how the world of work works, especially with new investors, they've got every right to sort of go, you're always one of our options, but you're basically going for your job again. Do you know what I
That's what I
mean?
was just about to say.
You're
You're recruiting
basically
for the position again,
yeah. And
basically.
there's nothing wrong with that. Us as fans, because of our attachment to the club and our affinity to a manager or in the past to players or whatever it may be, are like, that's wrong. You know, they're going behind his back and looking for people for his job. And I was saying, how's he going to feel? He's going to stick two fingers up and say, stick this, I'm gone. But in reality, when you've underperformed as well, and it's not like they're coming into a Premier League winner and he's just, you know, he's just got, he's a Champions League winner, or it's not people coming in to buy Liverpool and they don't know what to do about Klopp. It's not people coming to City and they're not sure what direction to go in with Pep. Like, we've had our worst season and there's a lot of answers. So they're within their rights to sort of go speak to other people, sound them out, have interviews, talk to representatives, work out what would that cost versus that. I don't think that's a bad thing. Some people losing their minds because like the financials were one of the factors of what the decision is. But every ingredient to make the cake is relevant to when the cake's finished and you eat it.
Yeah.
How much vanilla essence did you have affects what I couldn't make it. Do you
Baking
know what I mean?
soda.
How much baking soda did you have? How much flour did you? It affects how you're going to be able to make the cakes. If I know, right now this cake needs making and I can't even bloody get any more vanilla essence right now.
Yeah.
I've only got this bit, so actually I won't make a vanilla essence. I've got more of the banana flavor, so I'm going to make that cake. Like it's all relevant to what you have, and if we did look at it and we go, right, balance up what it would cost to get rid of Eric Ten Hag, with him being good or bad, with the new manager being a risk and unknown, but it will cost more. You have to consider that. That doesn't mean you definitely only made this decision just because we have no money. I'm just going to be blind. We've got no money. Money or no money, Ten Hag. It's not, that hasn't happened.
No. I think you're right. I think also as well, it's important to consider that you look at what they have done thus far. They've recruited for every major position, haven't they? They've got a new chief executive. They've got a new sporting director. They've got a new technical director. They're bringing in other people. So it's only logical then that they would re-recruit for the head coach position, which could include, again, almost re-interviewing the guy that's already in there and making the decision if he's the appropriate person. And that's why, again, that article's so good from The Athletic, because
it is really good. They
sort of talk about how they unanimously then came to the conclusion. They went, we've spoken to way more people than we kind of realized, to be honest. And some of those names they spoke to are frightening.
Yeah, very. But they basically,
Martinez.
But basically, they left no space. They said, we're just, if anything, it's kind of, I know it's a waste of time speaking to people like that. But at the flip side, it's like, we're literally going to take this seriously, just in case we miss anything. Do you know what I mean? Let's talk to them guys to make sure, like, yeah, he's rubbish. And that's fine. But, like, you know, that shows the scale of the detail of what they were actually doing.
Yeah, and they came to the conclusion. They went, well, look, nobody here is an improvement on Ten Hag. And this is the key thing too. that a lot of the criticisms that, for instance, I can speak for myself, that I had of Ten Hag last season, that I still stand by in this restructured approach. I think there is at least an attempt to resolve some of those issues, i.e., okay, tactical stubbornness. Well, if the Jamie Jackson article is true, when it's like, wow, Jason Wilcox and Ten Hag had a discussion and go, maybe you set up this way, maybe we consider this, and Ten Hag goes, actually, I think that's a good idea. And like Jamie Jackson said, Ten Hag still got the final call on that, so it's not like Jason Wilcox picking the team or anything, but Ten Hag can take that idea on board and go, actually, I'll have a look at that. That's a big way to go for tactical stubbornness. A little bit of pressure from above going, this isn't working, tweak it. What's another thing that we've complained about when it comes to Ten Hag? Again, recruitment, player talent ID. Well, you go, well, that's taken not completely, but more out of his hands. You go, well, that kind of addresses that a little bit there, doesn't it? If it comes to interpersonal sort of relationships with some of the players, again, if you've got a technical director who's acting as a more effective bridge between the management team, the executive team, and the playing squad, that would help, you would think, those interpersonal issues that maybe Ten Hag would have. So I'm looking at those things, I'm going, well, that's good then. That's good then. It's because either it was, if you stick the same and don't resolve these problems, then you almost might as well get rid of him because those problems are still going to persist and it's not going to get any better. If you keep him, then you go, right, let's resolve some of these issues then. Let's fix some of these things. How do we improve on these things? And that would appear to be what they're trying to do. So that's why I look at that as being positive. But just circling back to the media very quickly, I still think this whole thing has been an exercise, once again, a bit like with the takeover stuff before, of media literacy, if you will, in the sense of when you see an article, you have to kind of, wine testing. What does this taste like? Am I buying this? Where is this coming from? What part of it's probably true? What part of it isn't true? Because as we said, in the absence of information, and this will be good for the transfer window, in the absence of information, you have to start taking leaps, and what journalists do. And once they start taking leaps, then it starts getting really messy and people start sort of guessing. And when you start guessing, then you start getting all kinds of madness, So I do find it quite curious that suddenly everyone knows everything, and some of the stuff I have seen written over the last 24 hours, I go, I don't really buy that, to be honest with you, But I think that's what's going to be interesting for the transfer window ahead. I think we're in the transfer focus. We still got to be like, just because we're linked with a player, that does not mean we're.
That doesn't mean we're going to get. We have to curb those expectations. And another thing I was thinking about with the Ten Hag situation, because there was a conversation I had with KG that brought this to my mind, and then aftermath you're seeing sort of online and people like talking about this thing, because KG made me think about it first. He was saying about what basically the expectation for next season, and he sort of did go to like, we should be challenging, and it's like overall we should be expecting Man United to challenge, because that's where we want to get back to, and it's about that balance of like not losing your identity of what you once were, what you need to get back to, versus an understanding of where you are and how far you are behind the rest and what's realistic. Because KG was basically saying, the season that Arsenal did challenge, season before last, their fans were basically saying, if we could just get in the top four, like we just want to get in the top four. So, and they finished 6th that season, didn't they? So that's why they were like keeping it in line. Let's get in the top four. They ended up challenging. So he's like, never write it off. You don't know. Like, you can't say that we can't go from 8th to challenging. And I was sort of pushing back on that, saying, well, in this current form with our squad, we can't challenge. It's impossible. But he said, you can't say it's impossible. You never know. Arsenal did it. But they were going in somewhat of a better direction than we was by that point with their football, with how they were playing. But football's weird. But then I was like, well, we're doing this thing where we all in agreement that we've got some crap players who aren't good enough. The squad needs trimming. But then by the next logic, we're like, but Ten Hag's staying and he's lucky to be in the job. So next year he better challenge. What, with the same squad that we all are saying that needs stripping down, with the same 400 million that he wasted, by the way, on transfers that need to be undone, and with a new set of people who need to come in and work on that, where some people are now saying, doesn't matter though, he's his 3rd year, so he should be challenging. That you've been here 3 years, but that's not the full context of how his journey in those 3 years have gone.
Do you know what it is though? And I was talking to KG on the phone about this yesterday too. That we were sort of saying the crux of it is, and it'll always be the case, always has been, always will. Football is about results. It's about results. Erik ten Hag nearly lost his job because in the league, he didn't get the results this season. Erik ten Hag kept his job because he got some pretty important results at the end of the season and won a trophy. Why? Because that's the currency of football. It's results and trophies. The fact that he's got 2 trophies in 2 years is a big factor in him keeping his job. Yeah. The fact that he didn't get results in the league is why he nearly lost, and the Champions League is why he nearly lost his job this season. That will be the same next season. If he's struggling for results, then the pressure will be on him once again. That's always what it is. And to be honest, that's when you kind of have to push back a little bit.
If he doesn't challenge for the league, Owen, he won't get sacked. If he comes third, but didn't challenge for the league. If he gets say we have a season like the first season where we finish third and win the Europa League.
Yeah. Well, I think even if we don't get a trophy, I think if he gets
if we just finish third, if he gets top 4, he'll keep his job.
He'll keep his job.
And then you build again. You can't just say if he doesn't challenge for the league this year, then he failed because he's in his third year, and that's not good enough. Especially with what we've just gone through.
You have to be realistic. But I think the expectation is, I mean, he said it himself, didn't he, in the press conference towards the end of the season? He said, well, okay, let's say that you have half the injuries you've had last season. What can this squad do? And he was like, well, we should be competing for the top 4. Definitely. Yeah. Absolutely, we should be.
Absolutely.
No, and there'll be no doubt about that. But yeah, it's about results, and it's about winning things too. And that's when you kind of, that's why the Arsenal one's interesting, isn't it? Because look, they play great football, and the last couple of seasons they've pushed for the Premier League. They haven't won the Premier League, and it's great to play nice football, and it's great to be involved in those races. But at the end of the day, you do eventually have to start winning stuff because it passes you by eventually, doesn't it? And again, because that's the currency of football. You know, that's why I sometimes roll my eyes a little bit when they go, oh, this great team in this decade or whatever. And it's almost like the Roy Keane principle, isn't it? When he goes, okay, they were great. And you go, yeah, what did they win? What did they win? You know, what trophies did they win? And if it's nothing, that's when you start getting into the territory of going, well,
what's the legacy? What have they done?
You played some great stuff, but you know, what did you what did you
do? The same people that are saying like Ten Hag, this, that, and the other, like it don't matter that he's won, it's about the direction you're going. The same people saying that are saying, oh, I'll tell you what, yeah, you look cute in that, but you're not winning nothing. Like, but obviously it's good to be in a position that Arsenal in, because look at how they play football. Like they're knocking on the door. Because I push back to the Arteta hate of like, yeah, but what's he won? Like, obviously he got the FA Cup a little while ago, but it's getting to the point where if he keeps knocking on the door without winning anything, when's the bit where you go, okay, that's really good for 5 years of competing, but we didn't win a single top trophy. Who's the guy who's gonna? Because you have to realign. You have to go, our team's very good. We're nearly there. So maybe it's the manager. We just need someone who can just take that over line. It might not be him. But the question is, when does that happen? It's the same thing of like, well, we're doing that in reverse, where we're picking up trophies, not the biggest ones, by the way. It's not like we're picking up a Premier League or we're picking up a Champions League, but we're finishing 7th and then getting it in again. But we're picking up some silverware, but we're trying to chase what we look like and find an identity.
And it's not to say that like winning an FA Cup or a Carabao Cup excuses playing, you know, like or doing terribly in the league or whatever every season, because it doesn't. But I suppose my wider point that I'm making is, for all of the sort of dominance and great football that you play, you know, what's remembered more is what's more remembered more is the trophies that you win. You know what I mean? Like that's,
well, look at Spurs,
because that's what
Spurs.
Because that's what
Poch,
exactly. But
he got them Champions League every year. he got them to the final.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
and then now look at Poch's stock. It doesn't. Nobody cares. Like,
exactly.
The only thing we have that Pochettino's a good manager, and I'm not saying he's not a good manager. I do think he is, but like it's only that body of work whereby he did that really good front foot attacking stuff with Spurs. You know, at White Hart Lane in the move to Wembley, I remember how scared you was of going to Spurs. You're like, fucking hell, this is going to be all. And they were really good. But you look back at it, even away from the Spurs never win anything because it's funny, but just that body of work with how good Poch is, you go, well, yeah, so what? He did that. He didn't win nothing. And then now he's come back to Chelsea, had a chance again, didn't win anything.
I remember that season when we went to White Hart Lane. I think it was Jose's first season, I think it was. And they beat us. And we finished like 6th in the league that season. But we ended up winning Europa League and Carabao Cup that season. And like I said, fast forward years later, people remember more us winning trophies as opposed to them getting second or third
No
in
one
the league or
cares.
whatever. You know what I mean? Because again, that's the currency of football, because it's about results and about trophies, more importantly. So circling back to Ten Hag, look, if it's like December, and we are like 6th or 7th in the league again, he's in massive trouble. He'll know that. Of course he will, absolutely. But at the same time, again, if we're competing for trophies, that will go a long way, because that's what it's all about. But eventually, look, you've got to climb up the league and you've got to start competing. But I suppose the wider point is that trophies matter. they
Trophies
really
matter.
do.
And actually, when you say it, that like when you got us the Carabao Cup, even though it was only a Carabao Cup, we saw it as a springboard, and obviously we went backwards and then got another one this year. But like, it was our first trophy in 6 years. Like, that's not like, I know it was the lowest trophy you can get in club football, but it was something. Like, we were trophy-less for 6 years at Man United. You talk about people having standards and like, we're not that and that. It's unheard of. We don't go 6 years without a trophy. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying, because people say, so you think that one Carabao Cup in 6 years is like the second coming of Jesus? No, I don't. What I'm saying is, though, to then get back-to-back trophies and get a trophy that's better than that against, the world champions in Man City, because that's what they were at that point. The treble winners, Club World Cup, they've won it all, going 4P, all of this, to win it against them, the same team that beat us last year. That's 2 trophies in 2 years when we didn't have any in 6. That matters.
Yeah, it has to mean something, doesn't it?
That matters. And this season, of course, we were all there for the 8th place finish and all the shit lows of the season and how crap it was, and that can't happen again. But I'm telling you now, I'm not just saying it because I'm a match goer. Even if you're watching from 5,000 miles across the Atlantic or wherever it is where you live, you're going to remember Man United went to Wembley and we beat City. You're never going to forget that weekend. You won't.
Yeah.
You're never going to forget the no-look pass from Bruno to Kobe. You're never going to forget the picture of the boys standing there, the youngsters with the fucking trophy. None of us are going to forget that. Even if like something bad happens in the next couple of years where we're not good, you're still going to go, oh man, I thought we was going to be good. Remember the youngsters with the trophy. I still remember bloody, even in the Europa League when we won it, I still remember bloody, what's his name on his crutches? Zlatan.
Yeah.
Like, just having fun with, like, I just remember that, like, because we won. I remember Mkhitaryan scoring. I remember, like, do you know what I mean?
Or even
I remember
that season in the Carabao, and Zlatan scored like last few minutes against Southampton with the header.
Do you know what I mean? I remember the free kick he scored.
Yeah, exactly.
Against Southampton.
Yeah, it was the final.
In the final. I remember him rising. Oh my God, look what's happening. And then the header he scored. I remember.
Yeah.
I remember that. Do you know what I mean? So it matters, is what I'm saying. It's not everything, but it matters. Let's read out these actually before I talk about the Ghost Wraith, the Phantom. Glenn C says Flex is reflecting on all that's happened. I am. And Ryan Sir says we are keeping a manager that needs coaching, basically saying we're taking all the power off him and like he's on a YTS. Someone said in the chat earlier. Don't agree with that. Ryan says people forget Arteta's Arsenal played shite for the first couple of seasons. He was playing 5 at the back, deep lines and counters, etc. Give Eric Ten Hag time, you'll see. He was playing shit I remember that, and the Arsenal fans were begged. They were like, "Why are we playing 5 at the back all the time? Go to a back 4." And I remember a game specifically. I can't remember what it was. If there's any Arsenal fans in the chat, you might be able to enlighten us. Where he did change it to a back 4, and it got rinsed. And it was like, "No, I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready yet."
During lockdown, you know what
I
mean?
mean? Do you know what I mean? And remember, and people say, because we say like back-to-back 8ths, because the first 8th he came in like December, won the FA Cup, so you go, all right. The second season, he legitimately finished 8th again when it was all his season. But he had to get the players out, and you can see what he's trying to do. Had to play 5 at the back. I get that, but he finished 8th again.
Yeah, well, I mean, and I suppose something they could hold on to when that happened. They said, well, more points.
We got more points, yeah.
More
but
points,
8th is 8th.
Kind of
it's
stuff.
always relative to the competition. That's like saying, well, we finished 2nd under Ollie. Let's keep him. We finished 2nd. Yeah, but we were however many points behind the top, and Chelsea were rubbish that season. Liverpool were rubbish. It's all relevant. Like, you can't just say...
It's like when we did this season, wasn't it? When it's our lowest finish, but it wasn't our lowest points total. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so it's all right.
You can split hairs, can't you? It's not good.
Yeah.
It's not good at all.
Yeah. So it's just little caveats in it. And Ray Carl, Ray Carr says, for me, it's about winning trophies, which then brings you into winning the league, etc. Champions League. But you've got to win first. Shahil says, sorry, completely off topic. Had a random thought. Who from UV is each one of these characters from Madagascar? Oh my God. That is so... I don't even know the characters from Madagascar. I think I might have seen...
I know the animals. I don't know the names.
Is there a few of them? Is there a few of them?
There's
films?
a lion. There's a giraffe. There's a zebra. And there's a hippo. And there are penguins. I remember those. I don't know their names.
Mate, that is Shahil. That is so... bro, why are you thinking that? What? That's crazy. Where's that come from? What's happened? I don't know. I can't even answer that because I don't know the people. I don't think I've even watched Madagascar from start to finish ever. So
have you not?
No.
That's great.
How many of them is there? Is there like a few of them now?
I don't know. I think I've maybe watched the first one when I was younger. That's when it came out, but I'm not sure.
No, I haven't seen that. Big up any Madagascar watchers. We're at 720.
It's like I was like you with the North Korea commentators.
Yeah. No comment.
Well, if you're watching in Pyongyang.
No comment. Not getting involved, mate. Right. Let's keep it moving. Last story of today: the ghost of Rafe the Phantom.
Yes, Raphael Varane. We know his future's away from Manchester United, but it might be in Miami. What's that Will Smith song? Flex with the Miami one. It's called
Welcome
Miami.
to Miami. Welcome to Miami, where the heat is on. Welcome to Miami.
Fabrizio Romano said on Raphael Varane links into Miami, I've just made an approach to ask Varane potential free agent deal conditions. Nothing else at the moment. No negotiations, nothing advanced or decided. If he went there, Flex, would you get the shirt?
I'd get the shirt. I'm getting the shirt wherever he goes. I've decided.
They've got a bit of a Galacticos team going on as well, haven't they?
They've
got like 2015 Barcelona basically going on. They've got Messi, Suarez, Busquets. Who else have they got? Jordi Alba, I think.
Jordi Alba, I think.
Yeah.
Wicked, mate.
And then
they're still not even the best team. I don't even think they win every time.
And they'll add Raphael Varane to that as well.
That'd be sick.
How can they afford that? I thought there was a salary cap in the MLS.
But
that changed?
What they're paying them, they're probably still paying them like not as much as we think, like because not Messi.
Well, because there's designated players.
Mate.
I forget how it works. I know there's designated players. I think you can get is it 3? I think maybe
they come to the league, and the league you can say like they're allowed to have like these amounts.
And they're like outside. I think of like
the rules. So they're probably giving what they want, not what they want, but probably can give
a lot. But there's more than that. So I don't know how. And then like people saying in the chat, they linked to Angel Di Maria too.
Yeah. That'd be good. It's Beckham, mate. Listen, I'm behind it all. Like back to Rafa, wherever he goes, I'll support him. I will get a shirt. And if he goes Miami, that'd be sick. I'd love to go Miami, watch him play.
But you do again, you think of naming those players. So you got like Jordi Alba, Raphael Varane, Angel Di Maria, Busquets, Suarez, Messi. Yeah. You do need players that like aren't in their sort of mid to late 30s, like in that team.
Of course.
But I guess it's the MLS, you know what I mean?
It's the MLS, it's all about the spectacle and them trying to get the right marketing around it, and
it's mad though. Like literally, Messi's gone there, and then all of these other players go, "Yeah, I'll go there."
Of course, because Messi's, of course, yeah. And Ronaldo we kind of laughed at the Saudi thing when he said, "I want to stay in Europe," but then he ended up in Saudi. I'm not saying the Saudi league has gone as to plan as some of the attendances have been low and stuff, but in terms of obviously the money that's on offer and the players that started going, the influx last summer, we were shocked. We were like, bloody hell, a lot of people are going there.
Well, people
like Ruben Neves, who was like young, like with like.
He was the one where when he went over, he was like, I've been basically told that lots of people, lots of money is going to be spent, and lots of money has been spent. Definitely.
And then you see what they've done in boxing as well. It's coming. It's on its way up.
They do it with the wrestling as well. They've done it with the wrestling since 2018. Apparently they're going to have a Royal Rumble or WrestleMania at some point there in the future. Like big money's going into sports.
Yeah. In Saudi, the F1's gone there. The motor racing, I think, is it the motorbikes or one of the other car things?
Yeah, everything.
Everything. So
everything's going there.
Don't sleep on it, mate. Don't sleep on it.
Yeah.
Sorry. Sheila says, sorry, my little brother is watching it on TV. Oh, so you're like, actually, about that thing. Who would the UV people be on it? Alfie says, Arsenal finished 8th twice with less points than us, 58. Was it? Was their thing less than us when they finished 8th in both times? That's interesting. But they played better football, knew where they was going. Anyway, smash a like on the video, guys. Wicked show, big show. We had loads to get into. We got to basically 750 likes. I think we'll get 10 more likes on the way out. So make sure you guys do it. Yeah, sorry, Saudi golf. Yeah, golf too, says Lil Yo-Yo.
Yeah.
Big up to everyone. Smash a like on the video. Thanks for watching. Of course, if there's a here we go with this deal announcement with the actual details, more details about it. Obviously, Man United with a statement, which would probably happen. Should Eric Ten Hag get a new deal, an extension, I think they definitely have to announce that. We'll bring it to you. So lock in, guys. And yeah, see you on the next video. What have we got later on today?
What the devil, yeah.
That's yeah, what I was going to say. What the devil, I'll be on that later on as well with Kane and Dylan and the guys from United District. So much to get into. So yes, big up to everyone. Take care. We are out of here. Peace.